Like everybody else today, apparently, I love vampire literature. It's everywhere, and of course, I'm consuming it, right? Can you imagine a vampire course without Dracula? Dracula is the sort of ur-text of vampire literature. There are several vampires before Dracula, but Dracula 1897 is the text that really brings the vampire into literature. When we develop genres, you get detective, science fiction, fantasy, romance, western, horror, which encompassed the vampire. The vampire doesn't fit in horror anymore. There's tons of horror vampires out there, but there's also all these romance vampires. This is the argument that I laid out to my students on the first day of class. We're seeing a new genre develop, and it doesn't develop out of the romance hero or out of the terrifying vampire. It actually develops out of bureaucracy. In True Blood, you actually get vampires participating in bureaucracy. You know, these people are business people, these vampires. They're doing all this very boring, tedious work. You don't notice those scenes. You notice the scenes where, you know, a vampire rips the spine out of the news anchor on television. You have to have this sort of everyday stuff that we all do, answering our emails, in order to be able to create this genre. I am trying to set up a class where we really are, students are doing research in areas that, you know, I'm not an expert in. And we're all sort of working on, like, how do we construct knowledge together.
She always keeps things out here with us. You know, she's like, you know, this is what I think, but hey, you know, you have a thought and you have a thought.
You know, each of these so-called monsters throughout history all are taking on humane characteristics.
He's the rarity. You know, he has to survive at all costs because nobody else is going to continue the species line.
I wouldn't absolutely say it, but he's definitely not. I mean, he's a sketchy character.
That is what I like about her, is it's all, she said at the beginning, it's all student driven. It's not about her, it's about us.
If you say, okay everybody, we just read Faulkner, now we're gonna read Foucault. Sometimes students are like, but I didn't even get Faulkner, and now you're giving me this other text that's supposed to eliminate Faulkner, but frankly, I don't even know what happened in that book. Whereas I feel like when you give students, you say, okay, read Dracula. They read Dracula, they think, I totally know what happened in that book. It kind of reveals what, you know, those of us who study literature believe, whether it's true or not, which is that literature matters. It's about illuminating something. And if the reader reading your paper on gender in Dracula is going to look at Dracula differently and be able to see Dracula two ways at once, you just wrote a good research paper.